Alright, I'm going to be doing a base tour of my Age of Engineering base, because I know I said I wasn't going to do like tons of Minecraft videos or try and be like a Minecraft guy, but I want to archive these, and I could just list them private, but I think it'd more be fun to share them. So this is the remnants of the first hole I dug in, just at the start of the game. Just my little furnace, whatever. I already blew up most of it. This is fortunately not my main base, but this is where I came to do a whole bunch of satellite stuff for advanced rocketry. Rocket. So, not much to see here. Just a bed, some portals. Like a lot of people, I ended up building my base in the mining dimension. So, here, let me get a nice high view. Made a conscious effort to try and work outside a lot more, which is something I didn't do a lot in most packs. Most packs I end up building to the side of a mountain and living like a dwarf. But what do we have that's interesting here? This is the most unnecessary rubber production possible. I don't think I ever took more than one batch of resin out of this, but getting resin was getting real tedious. We have dimension building stuff. Not very high energy tier energy cube, but I didn't really need not energy storage, draconic energy storage thing, but didn't really need a big one. Mostly used it for multipliers at the end game to try and get creative storage, which I have now. Yeah, over here you have I have all that creative things, creative vending. It's the first time I ever really went that far and stuff. The main working area of the base is down here. It's kind of very labby, well, underground labby. Got a calculator area where I would just drop in huge tons of cobblestone stuff. My very simple nuclear reactor. Under it, we have the completely useless fusion reactor that is which is so glitchy. Pack makers need to stop including Tech Reborn in the pack. Down here, we now just have quantum generators and a whole bunch of capacitors. Here, I'll come back here later. Under here, we just have, so I have, applied energistics, but I don't have any applied energistic discs. Everything I did was done with, external storage, mostly because I find this tablet to be way easier to work with and nicer. And it's just like more options. Between all those and storage drawers, it's like, why bother? Oh, we have this set up here for doing the multiplier stuff, where I had to use phantom faces and stuff to be able to load things right and keep it neat. And also to pull massive amounts of energy into and out of the draconic energy sphere, whatever. Let's see. Simple things for processing ore. And it didn't have a huge ore processing setup in this. Mostly I just sent stuff through this. As much as I hate industrial craft, it is nice how fast you get it. I'm sure people get like a whole stack of overclock upgrades in that and have it still work, but that was enough for me. This is all my like Tech Reborn and industrial craft stuff. Screen that never had any use. A very basic steel generating setup. Also obsidian. What do we have in here? This place is a mess over here. Chickens, for when I was using chickens to make distill what was it? Nutrient distilled nutrient? Yeah. I had another storage drawer set up for Quantum Quarry, which I stopped using really fast. It was kind of like a waste, really. These are my singularity generators. Just pump a lot of stuff in here, make a couple some slabs, load them in. Oh, that was really convenient and nice. We have my totally useless now empower generator set up, which eventually ended up going into advanced generator. Really sloppy with the setup down here, but got a range collector down there to work with this. I had to get the range collector just far enough away so it wouldn't randomly steal stuff from up here. Advanced rocketry stuff. Not too much. Didn't need most of the machines in that. Over here we have the mechanism area, which is a mess. It's just a complete mess. Really, when I was doing the creative stuff for mechanism, I just ended up doing it the really lazy way and just like using droppers and stuff to just get everything together and just make just enough. It was super lazy. Probably took longer than actually making a neat setup, but whatever. As soon as I got the creative gas tanks, it was fine. I skipped most mechanism because getting like 5x ore didn't feel worthwhile. Here we have the tank setup, where I keep all my fluids, the ones that commonly get ported around. We have here, and when I had a creative tank at first, I came up with a setup where every 30 seconds, or when I press this button, it would cycle and randomly load a different fluid in there. So it'd keep them mostly topped off. There was never anything I did that used fluid too fast. Sadly, I never got to do anything too cool with that, since like all the energy sources that I could do cool stuff with, it's like, you know, I had, you know, creative energy sources at that point, so, you know, didn't have much use. Here we have my little kill box, my mob farm. Simple setup, doing stabilized mod spawners. Hit a switch, turns it on. Fucks it up, moves over. You know, it's a mob farm. Despite being ugly, worked pretty nice. It would do nice things like cash in solidified experience and stuff. You know, I have a magnet on right now, so it's just grabbing all that. Pull that through. This is also where I would process anything that would benefit from fortune would come here, because it would also pick up the experience from it. And then both that and the Ender Sword that Killer Joe has would go through you know, go through a item repair and an energizer periodically. You have a very simple wither killer. I never totally automated it because I never needed nether stars that badly, so, you know, just wait until I had like a stack of everything, throw one in each block, turn on the timer, and let it go. Never bothered setting up any like applied energistics stuff because it just seemed unnecessary. Calculator plugs. This was my main power source through most of the game. Well, after the huge water tower that's now basically completely useless, but I keep there because it's nice. Yeah, flawless farm. Mostly use it because it's nice to be able to batch craft stuff that I need real quick. Well, not batch craft, but you know, I didn't want a farm that I would have running all the time. So it's just nice to have this where I could just throw something in for 10 seconds, get a million stuff, and then turn it off. Bees, my very, very lazy bee setup. I actually cheated because I've done bees once. They're boring. I don't want to do bees. So I just gave myself one of every queen that I needed for stuff that was necessary, and just lived with that. So it was actually kind of slow, but I set up scenting panels really early, so that was good. Basic empowered setup, throw everything in. Right now this is just for basically making bronze casings, because really everything else is done with Draconic Fusion. Very basic reactor. Barely used it. Nothing really too crazy over here. Mostly stuff using, you know, for the one time I needed biodiesel just to finish things off. Used to be where I would generate UU matter to have a bunch of crafters and other cobblestone generators, but no longer need that. Huge tree farm. Got some nice setup over here for So I would take certain things that needed to be done in the smeltery. I would just automate that easily. And then be able to set things up to either use the electric solidifier or do it real boring with these. It's not like super neat, like I would have to go in and like set whether this is pulling in or out or whatever, but you know, it worked. This big ugly stack of machines just for, you know, nothing for automation purposes, just stuff for, you know, having to do stuff. Down here. Oh yeah, so let me come up here. So yeah, I have these going down, all the auto crafters, all the storage, Conic Fusion. And I only needed 2 things. I never did a big setup. Never really needed it. So very basic and sloppy setup in the basement where just I don't know if I did anything particularly clever during this. I'm trying to remember. But, you know, yeah, it's basically what you'd expect. Really small fusion crafting setup for empower items. Also, tried to use energy faces to try and speed those up. I don't know if it actually worked out. A bunch of vibrant capacitors, but you know, whatever. If I was actually playing this much right now, I would probably replace all those with creative, but no real point. That's just a pit down to the old mines I have no business being in. Oh yeah, okay, so another thing I cheated. So the 2 things I cheated was bees and these. I gave myself quantum panels earlier because I went through all this effort to both set up the fusion thing and set up a system to automatically take water, load it, still it, load it, whatever. And this turned out to not only be not automatable, even though I even set up I came up with a nice little program to make sure that I always had a close to even stack of what are the 2 things? Helium and oh yeah, deuterium and tritium. Yeah, I had it all set up, and then even after all that, I turned out that I couldn't even reliably make this thing generate energy. Like, it would only randomly output energy. And then I would have to like break blocks and it would start working again. Like, yeah, don't include Tech Reborn in your pack. Maybe it's better in... what is it? Yeah, 1.11, but in 1.10 it's just completely unusable. I think that's basically everything. Just have like, you know, the goofy thing is I have a fluid reactor all the way out there. Because I just wanted to do it really lazy and didn't want to risk blowing everything up. Oh, I have a little crappy space station. I could go there. The teleporter that I used for a while. Dislocator. Real basic. I don't think there's anything. Not like other games where I've played this where I've set up pretty cool outdoor stuff. It's just a crappy little It's nice when you don't have a mining dimension, because then you have a excuse to put like solar panels and stuff out there to like min-max. Oh yeah, this is just big mess of stuff. I never ended up automating these because I wasn't making discs. I never really needed many circuits, so I just like make like, you know, 1 or 2 stacks at a time, and that'd be fine. This was never particularly nice. I don't know, like a lot of this base is both like sloppy, but I kind of have a fondness for it because it's just like so spread out and stuff. Like usually that's bad, but like I don't know, it has like character. But I've definitely made nicer functioning bases before, but I don't know. I'm gonna miss this place. Oh, this is when I was trying to generate one of these, and then I remembered like, oh wait, I can just use the multipliers to do it real quick. That ended up being real trivial. That's another thing where I probably would have cheated because I would have just been waiting around, but yeah, no need. So I think that's pretty much everything. These are, oh, another thing where it's like this was the original core energy source for the whole base. Now it's just a drop in the bucket compared to everything. Oh, locking up. Trying to think. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I do like how these look. I'll definitely do this again, even if I won't have a creative fluid thing that I can mess with. See, it always seems to work out. It always seems to alternate, but even though there's no real guarantee of that. Oh yes, it's paneling. That was the worst. I hated that. Calculator stuff. No, that's it. Again, I do kind of like just the layout. I like having roads everywhere. I kind of want to do something like this again. Maybe with some big walls so I can do it outside in a place that has mobs all the time. But yeah, that was fun. I think this is the first pack I ever like hit the completion state on. I really didn't think I was going to bother doing the creative stuff, but then I was just kind of like, hey, what the hell? Let me do it. Like, almost everything I have in my auto-crafting is basically dedicated to that, so... I don't know, it's probably real boring, but... Like I said, it's mostly for me. I want to archive these without having to save all the files and all the, like, the exact EXEs and everything like that, so... I'll probably do a whole bunch more of these, because I have some more games I want to delete, basically, but don't want to totally forget, so... So, if you don't like these, whatever, don't watch them, it's cool. So, yeah.